everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name's Sophie, and this channel is chronicling my journey of living my best life with multiple chronic health conditions. Today, I'm going to give you guys an update on my fibromuscular dysplasia doctor appointment, as well as my functional nurse practitioner appointment. I think I can do it all in this one video and not have it be extremely long. First of all, yes, I am in a sweatshirt and I'm wrapped up because my house has a million fans in it trying to dry out from the water damage I talked about in my last video. Hopefully they will be able to take the fans away today, but that is why I'm bundled up like it's cold, because it's cold. Anyway, starting with the fibromuscular dysplasia doctor, who's a vascular specialist. So she's not sure I have fibromuscular dysplasia. The beading that was found on my carotid arteries could be due to other reasons, such as previous dissections, which could be caused by a genetic connective tissue disease. She is going to talk to a geneticist about me just because of the whole trachea collapsing and the tracheoesophageal fistula and all this other weird connective tissue stuff. She's wondering if I have some genetic connective tissue disease, not necessarily an inflammatory connective tissue disease, which is what a rheumatologist is working with. So I'm also working on trying to get my sequencing results, like all of them, to be able to provide to her, to provide to the geneticist. That's really exciting. Even she said, like, she doesn't want me seeing a million specialists. She was mentioning the fatty liver that was found on my CT scans and just trying to figure out how that fits in with everything. I told her I thought I saw it has something to do with connective tissue stuff. But yeah, so it was a really good appointment. I don't like to make first impression judgments, but the first appointment went well. We'll see if it continues. What else? Let me look at what I wrote. I am supposed to start baby aspirin just because with beading you have areas that are narrower, so you always have a chance of like blood clotting, just to decrease the risk of that. And she felt all of my pulses and she couldn't find my radial pulse on my right or my pulses behind my knees, and then the pulses in my ankles and feet were difficult to find. That's really it with her. So I am getting a abdominal pelvis CTA to look to see if I have any other areas that would indicate fibromuscular dysplasia, and if I do, then the diagnosis is obvious, but if I don't, it is less sure, simply because she was saying that through their research, they're finding that women often present with fibromuscular dysplasia during a time of like hormonal change, so during menopause or pregnancy or coming off birth control, which I did do, but I had the whooshing in my ears prior to that. So she says I don't really fit the profile for fibromuscular dysplasia, which is why she's not sure that's what the beading represents, but that either way the treatment's the same and she's the person who I would be seeing for it anyway. So I'm getting the CTAs at the end of the month. We are not doing a head CTA because I had a brain MRA in 2019 and I didn't have any aneurysms, and it's only like every 5 years for the brain CTA, and I've had plenty of chest CTAs and she doesn't want to expose me to any extra radiation. So the plan is next year around March to do the head and neck CTA to check to see how things are with those areas. So that is the plan with that. then the functional tests that I had done were all wonky. My complement C4A, which is like a sub-complement of C4, which has been elevated since 2021, I believe, was like 6.5 times higher than it was supposed to be. So inflammation, and then my melanocyte stimulating hormone was very, very low, which could contribute to the fatigue and like the muscle pain I get. Another one of my markers she looked at was elevated, again, inflammation. The GI test, the stool sample, showed some different healthy bacteria were low, ones that help break down complex carbohydrates and fiber, which may be why I have trouble digesting vegetables. Another one that was low is with like healthy immune system. One of them that was high is used to has to do with lactic acid. So it would make sense if I'm not utilizing oxygen correctly and I have more lactic acid that a bacteria that breaks down lactic acid would be elevated. I did have elevated levels of some bacteria. I think it's called Proteus radius or something like that. We're not going to treat it directly. She said if I want, I could take berberine was shown to be partially effective of treating it. So I could do that, but I don't have to. I'm going to do some other stuff. I am eating and we'll be taking like the probiotic, kombucha, doing stuff like that to try to increase my healthy gut bacteria to hopefully decrease the unhealthy gut bacteria. And the unhealthy gut bacteria also produces hydrogen sulfide, which fits in with my SIBO test results, possibly pointing to hydrogen sulfide SIBO. Then the nutrient test showed that I'm basically deficient in everything. So even though my B12 and folate, for example, were elevated in my blood, they're elevated because my body isn't using them. And then my homocysteine was low because my body isn't going through the methylation cycle correctly. So the homocysteine just isn't being produced. She did recommend a supplement to take to help with a lot of my deficiencies and like the B vitamins and the methylation issues. I am waiting on her note that she's working on. She's trying to find ways to increase the melanocyte stimulating hormone and seeing if there's a probiotic with the certain strains in it that I am deficient in. And then she will put her note up so I can read it. And she has a site where I could buy the supplements, hopefully for cheaper than I currently am finding them for, because they are quite expensive. But it does combine a lot of the nutrients that I need, so instead of buying supplements separately for things like the B vitamins and alpha-linoleic acid and all of this other stuff, it's sort of a one-stop shop. But I am so deficient, she said, that it is sort of on par with what she sees in the cancer patients who have received chemo and such. So that is how much my body is struggling to sort of assimilate nutrients and stuff. So yeah, I obviously won't know how that's going to go until I start taking the supplements. I'll start taking the baby aspirin for the fibromuscular dysplasia / vascular issue over the weekend. My functional medicine doctor also wanted me to start taking apple cider vinegar with meals because my stomach acid isn't acidic enough, which may also be part of the problem of me not digesting foods and getting the nutrients from them. So I will start doing that today. Yeah, just a lot of things to try to support my body and energy production and detoxification and all of that. So a lot going on, a lot to do. I won't see the functional medicine doctor again for a few months just to see what changes there are. And I will see the fibromuscular dysplasia doctor depending on what the CTA results show, and we also communicate via the patient portal. That is what is going on in the medical world. I am still waiting for Cleveland Clinic to tell me I can schedule the stent trial. I am getting kind of concerned about that simply because I'm supposed to go in less than 6 weeks. So I'm worried if he hasn't sent off for the stent to be made, it won't be there in time. So then the question is, do I even go to Cleveland? But I messaged them yesterday. We'll see what they say. And that's it. That's medical stuff. Um, yeah. So I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. Until then, bye guys.